What is going on, everyone? Your old pal Jimo back with another exciting video where we'll be painting the front bumper on this Mazda. We've got those little tabs that cover the access holes, which we're going to put color on just for matching purposes. And then we've got the front fender here we're going to do. So we've got to color that over that primer. We've got limited blend space near the top. We've got quite a bit of room at the back, but we want to make sure this color is as close as possible before we begin, because it might creep up right to the edge of that fender, and then it'll throw off the color to the hood. But I think you'll see we do a pretty good job of keeping the color away from that edge, but it is a little bit of a trickier blend. And we're going to be using the Wallcom here for this job, the carbon fiber gun again, and you can see that in action one more time. Now I should clear up a few things from the last video that I've discovered about the gun that are worth mentioning. So there are different tip sizes. Previously I said that the only tip size I could find was the 1.3 for this gun. You can get all kinds of different tip sizes, I'm told. And another thing that wasn't mentioned, and maybe I didn't see it communicated with how they market this gun, but it would make sense that the carbon fiber is designed more to complement a heated nitrogen paint system, which I've had a bit of experience spraying with actually a few different heated nitrogen units. And what can happen is the gun after a while can get really hot, and to the point where it's pretty uncomfortable in your hand and burning it off. So if you have a carbon fiber gun, not only is the weight going to be much better, but it's not going to heat up and get hot and burn in your hand. So that would make a lot of sense, and I can see that being one area where this gun would beat pretty well everything on the market, I'm guessing, except maybe the only other composite gun I know of is the 3M AccuSpray, which is now ready to spray. I'd actually like to do a video one day on that. I did one years ago when they were in the test phases, and 3M actually they gave me some trouble because I shouldn't have been showing them. But anyway, here we are today, and what we just missed there was the sealer going on over the plastic. Now that's a new sealer from BASF. It's a direct to plastic sealer, so there's no adhesion promoter required with it. So it's pretty cool. Any less steps, the better. And this color did require a ground coat, and I know it's been a while since I sprayed this, and I wasn't paying attention to where we just covered, but I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me right, there was some sealer going on the fender, and that's for color matching purposes, because this specific red asks for a specific ground coat, so it covers better. So we're just going to run the tack rag over it before applying the color, and I believe we are using Onyx solvent on this job. I got to get in a better system of adding my description of the job closer to when I actually spray it, because so much time ends up passing. I try and get these videos put out, and then 50 things come up, and then here I am looking at my own work confused. So I'm pretty sure it's Onyx solvent, but hopefully there'll be some giveaways throughout this video, and if I end up water sanding it, that would be a big one to tell me it's solvent. But let's talk a little bit about the nitrogen machines, because I know you're probably a little, if you've never heard of them, they might be interesting. So basically there's a few different types of nitrogen machines on the market, but what they basically do is they take the air that consists of a whole bunch of different gases and convert it into something closer to a pure nitrogen. So what happens is you have more predictable molecules, less collisions, so it gives you a more predictable spray, less overspray, better transfer efficiency, and then when you throw the heater into it, it adds some pretty significant flash time decreases. So yeah, everything's flashing off and drying a lot quicker. And one thing I've noticed spraying with nitrogen, pretty well every nitrogen machine I've tried, is the jobs come out extremely clean. Now in this video you should be able to hear the sound this gun makes a little bit better, and I think I mentioned that in the last one, that it had a unique sound to it, which I really liked. Now I know that's not important to a lot of people, but to me, I mean, if I gotta listen to this thing all day, it's gotta make a cool sound. So that gives it a few extra points in my books. I like my spray equipment to all sound good. Even the gun mixing machines, they have to have a good beat to them, something you can get down to help unwind and get you through a stressful day of painting. So yeah, here we got the first coat going on over our primer. It's looking good. So we've got a few more guns coming our way to try out. Well, I have the Segola 4600s. They've been burning a hole in my paint cabinet, but I think tomorrow is the day I'm going to go and spray them. I've lent them out to a trusted painter who has expressed some like for them, so we'll see. We will see. They seem to put on the material pretty heavy, was his observation, and all I've used it for was a spray out card at this point, and we noticed the same thing. But we'll get a better feel for things tomorrow. Follow Instagram at Refinish Network if you want to see all the happenings there. The other gun that is coming is the SATA Phaser. I should have that shortly, and that I mean, that gun, I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty hefty price tag, so it's got a lot to live up to in my view, and I'm not sure that I am expecting it to perform much better or differently than the 5000. I mean, I like the 5000, don't get me wrong, but we'll see. That's all I can say at this point. We'll see what we get, and hopefully it is worth every penny, but I don't know yet. So here we got our base coat on. Looks like everything's covered there, and by the looks of how that's laying down, I'm gonna guess that is the Onyx solvent. Absolutely. So we've got the clear on the same gun here. Got our SATA cups, which I love the SATA cups. We're gonna pop that vent there and start clearing. Now, I've had a lot of people talk or discuss the differences between paint preparation systems, and I've always liked the SATA ones, mainly for the reason that you have a new cup every time. A lot of the shops I go into with the 3M system, and you'll see a lot of the videos here, the 3M cup, it gets covered in overspray and doesn't get changed out as often. It's just people don't think to order them, I guess. If you're diligent about that and you can do that, great. And I was told, and I think maybe it's happening in the US only, maybe not up here as yet, that 3M is supplying hard cups with every bag of liners, which would make them more attractive to me. But I also do like the vent system, just letting the air in. I find that it flows out better, and it sprays much nicer. So with the 3M cups, depending on the gun I'm using, a lot of guns with the 3M cups, it doesn't seem to matter what you do. After about, it needs about 10 seconds of purging time of spraying, and then it kind of flutters, and then the suction sort of begins, and you're going. With these ones here, I find as soon as you start spraying, everything comes out, and it never feels like you're starving for material. So, but mainly the thing I like about the SATA cups is the fact that it's a new cup every time. You don't have to worry about things falling off of the cup and landing in your paint. So there we go. We've got coat number 1 down. So here is the second coat going on after about 5 minutes worth of flash time. And this is Glazer's 923-230 clear coat, which is a new clear that was launched for the low VOC market. It's an extremely shiny clear, and it works quite well. So yeah, I guess that's pretty well going to be it for this video. We've got more in the editing room as always, so hopefully there'll be something along soon. We've got lots of new guns to test out, but in the meantime, be sure to follow me on Instagram, and you can see the latest of what I'm up to. So I'm at different shops pretty well every day, and I try and snap some pictures of different jobs that other people have on the go, and I like to see unique things in different paint shops. So I like to go into the older buildings where they have some really vintage glazered clocks or whatever they might see. So actually, if you have anything like some old cool things in your shop, make sure you send them to me or tag me on Instagram so I can check that stuff out too. So here is what we've got off the gun. Looks pretty good, and in a moment you'll see what this looks like all assembled. And you might be tricked. You see, first the color match looks pretty good. On the left side where we didn't blend, we've got a good match from the bumper to the fender, and this side the driver's side we would expect to match regardless because we blended that color through it. Now you can see up to the hood. We try to keep our color away from that edge as much as we can, and without exposing it and making the blend visible. So sometimes you can run the risk. Silvers would be very challenging to make that blend work. You might end up with a dark kind of edge in your blend, but that looks pretty good. Now you might find that the top of the bumper doesn't match the hood, and you have a good eye if you notice that, but we did not paint that. That's the OEM piece from the bumper. So sometimes if you match better than OEM, I don't know what you do. It's just people might complain, but I think they were good with this one. Pretty happy. I'd be pretty happy with this one if it was my car. So that's it. Thanks as always for watching, everyone, and we will see you next time.